Okay, so we're going to do a motor service on this here Magnabox. The tools you're going to need is a 1/4-inch driver. You'll need a motor. Now this motor's already been cleaned a little bit. In other words, I took it apart, I cleaned the sockets where the motor shaft goes, but now I'm going to do the next step, which involves oiling the bushings, freeing them up, and oiling the felt that is inside the bushing housings, which help to keep the motor shaft lubricated over a long period of time. I like to set those right there. Pay attention to how this is oriented so you know it goes back in properly. This is like this, wires on the left. That's how I remember. I like to set up a little towel here like a surgeon. So pull this up like this. This will separate into 2 pieces. Well, 3 actually. So this will pull out, go to there. This will pull out, go to here. So what I like to do here, got to have this kind of oil, 3-in-1 motor oil. Put a couple drops here. Just go like that, give it a spin. Now see, there's a bushing right there. It's brass. And you got access to it underneath. So what I'd like to do is drop 1 drop at a time down into that little void, and I just work this around like this. I'm going to take about 6 drops in this area. Just be patient, work that in there. You can do the same on the opposite side right there, but it'll get to the same spot. If you're good at this, you drop 1 drop right down into the spot. There's a little recess in there, so it'll hold it there, and gravity in your movement back and forth will work it down into there. This is important, but the other end is even more so. More so important? In any event. Spin that around, come to the other side, drop a drop down in there. This whole process right here should only take about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Spinning quite freely, so I'm going to just put a drop on this side, right there. This doesn't fall in as easily because there's no recess. I've already cleaned this motor shaft of any buildup from the idler wheel. It's always good to have some paper towels nearby, some Q-tips, and some alcohol, because you're going to want to clean the alcohol off of here if you get any on there. So we're going to put a couple more drops down in here. There's 1. Work it in there. So about 6 drops is what you want on this side. It doesn't hold oil as good as the bottom does, because the bottom is kind of like a reservoir, so to speak. All right, 1 more drop. That's it. That's all we got to do on this. Spinning quite freely. I've already cleaned that from my previous cleaning. So I'm just going to set this over here. Now this end. This is the exact same diameter. Watch how much this won't move. Actually, that's pretty free, but it should move freer. So I'm going to put 4 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put 12 drops total in here. See how it's working down in there? Use this, go back and forth. Back and forth and all around. And I've already cleaned out the socket, so it's already nice and clean down in there too. I did that with alcohol and a Q-tip. So really it's just a matter of oiling. Now if we look on the other side, if we look down in here, there's white felt. That white felt gets absorbent, or it is absorbent, and it'll hold the oil. So that was 4 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're up to 8 drops. The next 4 drops I'm going to put in the center. So the oil in the surrounding area here actually makes its way into here. So next 4 in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all going to wind up to the same place anyway. See, it's already emptied out. If you look on the other side, there's nothing coming out. You might get a little bit of oozing, but this is plenty to do the job. So when you put this back together and you put your 4 bolts back in there, you want to snug them gently. Then you want to tap on the motor housing on each end with like a plastic thing about that hard. It helps center the motor in here and in these. And as you're tightening these down, you tap the bottom, you tap the top, tap the sides. Nothing crazy. That's about it. You can take your Q-tip and clean up any excess oil you don't want around. That's all going to fall down in there regardless. If any oil got onto your stepped shaft here, you can take care of that too, but you can also take care of that once it's in the record player. Take care of any excess there, take care of a little excess there. Now it's just a matter of reassembly. So I'm going to I like to put this in first. So I'll put this in first. That's pretty simple. I like to put a drop of oil right here, just one. That's it. And assemble the base back on here. Make sure you're in the hole there, which we are. So now we remember our orientation was like this. These were off to the right. See, we got a little bit of residue coming through. No big deal, because if that falls straight down into the cabinet, it's not a big affair. But again, I'll come back later and I will clean that up with some Q-tips. Set this on here in your spots. Put your bolts back in. Tap top, tap bottom as you're snugging these down. That'll help center it. And that's it.